Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So, as promised, I'm now doing a video regarding my first half marathon. If you watched the first video, you knew we're gonna run a half marathon at the beginning of October. I trained for a month and a half. I ran this marathon at the beginning of October and it very pleasantly sucked. And now I want to do this video just to share a little bit some of the lessons I learned both leading up to the half marathon and during the actual race. So I ran this marathon in just a little over 2 hours. I could have done a little bit less because I had been pretty sick with gut problems leading up to the race, but I still think it was a very decent time. So without further ado, let's jump right into the lessons I learned. So the first thing I learned is that consistency is way better than intensity. And I already knew this, especially because of my work in my marketing agency, especially with writing content and producing content, say writing Twitter posts or recording for YouTube or writing for LinkedIn. I knew consistency is way better than intensity and it will yield much better results in the long term. But it's one of those things that you really understand even better. Your level of understanding reaches a new level once the pressure's on and it's really renovated and you really get a deeper understanding of what things mean, even though you kind of already knew. I think this will resonate with some of you, so that's why I say it. And I always think back to this Jeff Cunningham quote, which is, it's better to be consistently good than occasionally great. The second lesson I learned is to go one more. And as I've told you, I was having gut problems in the months leading up to the half marathon. I don't know why it happened because I eat pretty clean most of the time, but especially during runs, I would have problems with that. And when I was coming up to kilometer weight, which is about the third of the way there, so the half marathon is 21 point something kilometers, and when I was coming up to kilometer 8, I started feeling these like stomach aches and I was feeling tired, which is weird because I up to that point in training I had run more than twice what I had run up to that point. And it was weird because I had never felt like that after running 8 kilometers. I was like feeling super tired, my legs were stiff. It was a weird sensation for the time I was doing. At the moment I thought it might have been because I ran a little bit too fast at the beginning because I wanted to separate myself from the herd, because we were running on a bridge and there wasn't too much space, so I didn't want to have to stay behind old ladies and people who were walking. So I just started to run a little bit fast. I thought it was because of that, and all this cocktail of emotions was letting me down, and I was slowly but surely letting those negative thoughts creep in, and the prospect of me stopping to walk was getting increasingly likely and more appealing by the second, which is something you never want to do. And that's actually why I ran this marathon. I wanted to see how it would affect me mentally if I was able to push through, because I wasn't extremely well prepared for this half marathon. I'll be the first one to admit. I was thinking some things like, oh, maybe being exceptional or doing these difficult things aren't for everyone. And this was so stupid. I remember at the spot that I was corrected like in 20 seconds because I was thinking these things and it goes completely against everything I believe. And also, as I was slowing down, I saw old men and old ladies just running me by. So I was like, no, you're full of shit. Let's just keep going and push through. And luckily, lo and behold, at kilometer 11, I finally found one of those porta potties, those portable bathrooms. So I went and did my thing. And I can only describe it as what I think a thirsty man in the desert must feel upon seeing an oasis. It was that bad, I swear to you. So I went and did my thing. And when I started running again, it was so much easier. It got harder again in the end, but especially because it was uphill. So from this point on until the like 18-kilometer mark, I was golden, doing good time, feeling awesome. So it was really important. And I think this translates heavily into other areas of your life, such as business or entrepreneurship, nutrition, fitness. You just have to make sure you stay in the fight long enough for when that second win eventually comes, you're ready to get it and ready to make use of it. So the third and final lesson I learned during my half marathon is to be greedier. And I know a lot of you will resonate with it. I struggle with this sometimes. It's almost subconscious. It's subconscious for the most part, and I can only realize it in hindsight. And I think I'm not good enough to get an outcome, even though I worked super hard for it. I think I'm somehow not worthy of getting it. Like, what this could be boiled down to is that I have trouble bringing out the best out of myself. It's even hard for me to explain, but it's like I don't deserve the thing I worked so hard for, but clearly I deserve it because I did the work to get the outcome. It's super weird, but I know this happens with me. Say, if I'm applying to a job or I have a sales call with a prospect, I'll go into it and see it as almost a win already. So like me showing up, it's quote unquote a success, and I'll be sort of content that this little thing is happening already, that whether or not I get the job or whether or not I get this client to pay the retainer is inconsequential. And especially when the pressure is on, like in the kickboxing sparring sessions, I'll go like, yeah, I'm getting super tired and this round went okay, so I'm not gonna go hard on this last minute or these last few seconds because this was already a success. I already slipped some jabs, or I already kicked him on his leg pretty hard. It's really hard for me to embody that home run mentality, that let's go for the winning shot mentality and give my 110% at everything. And it's especially frustrating for me because rationally I know that that's where exponential growth happens, and that's where your comfort zone, you're out of it, and that's where the magic happens. And in the half marathon I saw this clearly because I was trying to do it under 2 hours, and there were several clocks along the race, like at the 5 minute mark and the 10 minute mark. So even before I went to the bathroom, I was already going like, okay, so I was crunching the numbers. I was like, yeah, this is going to be pretty hard. Let's just focus on not stop running, so not walking, because that is a win in and of itself. So even with the bathroom problems and the early tiredness, I finished it in 2 hours and 5 minutes. So 100% that going for the 2 hours was entirely possible. So all I needed to do was be more greedy. And by no means I think that I'm cured of this just because it was so real and I got to think about it after the race. But I really think that it was certainly a step in the right direction and something I will pay way closer attention going forward. Alright guys, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, ring the notifications bell, all that good stuff. It would help me out a ton with the reach, and it's completely free. Have a great day. See ya.